Hello landlords, it's Ernie Garcia, landlord attorney, and today I had the honor to speak in front of the Greater Houston RIA. This was their monthly meeting, and I was asked to come in and speak about the kinds of things that investors should consider when they are thinking about their lease. For investment property that is designed for residential real estate, what are the common things that they should think about? We talked all about that today. I was asked this morning to share a little bit about leases, and so I'm going to give you a 5-minute tip, and I've got the timer going, so I promise I'm going to do my best not to go beyond 5 minutes. But I do want to talk about leases and the kinds of things that you should do from the jump, right? Because your lease is going to be your most powerful instrument in the landlord-tenant relationship. And so if you set it up properly, you're going to get the most from it. If you understand what's in it, you're going to be able to use it to its highest advantage. And I want to talk about one simple thing that often is left blank in many, many leases. And that has to do with the notice provision in your lease. So if you use the Texas Realtors lease, or you use the Texas Apartment Association lease, or you use my lease, or any other really great lease that's out there, you're going to find that there's a provision that talks about how the parties are going to communicate. And this becomes extremely important, particularly when things go south. If you're having difficulty communicating or establishing that you sent a requisite notice to your tenant, it might be because you don't have enough firepower in that notice provision. Make sure that when you're signing a lease, that tenant has let you know, you can email me, you can text me, you can reach me on WhatsApp, you can go, you guys have a portal, I'll communicate there. Here's my work phone, my cell phone, and my spouse's phone. By having multiple avenues for getting in contact with your tenant, they're less likely to say, I never knew that that was requested of me, or I didn't know that I was supposed to do X, Y, or Z. Every single time you want to be able to express to a court, I have adequately communicated with my tenant. And by having multiple avenues, you're less likely to get ghosted with the one number that they're giving you, which all of a sudden is no longer in service, right? So have multiple avenues for communication right from the jump. Another thing that landlords sometimes don't think about, that's a very simple thing to do, is identifying everybody who's going to be on the property. Because sometimes it's mom and dad and son and daughter, and then 8 months in, you show up and it's 4 burly men living there. And I'm like, well, you know, we're living in an age where people transition into all sorts of things, but that doesn't make sense to me, right? A 7-year-old doesn't transition into a 35-year-old. And so what you gotta ask is, what can I do to make sure I know everybody on my property is the same people who signed the original agreement? And that's easy. All the adults actually physically sign, and they're the listed tenants. But for any occupants, you want a first name at least, and then in parentheses their age. That way you can come at any time. Whether you have 1 door or 100 doors, you always know who is authorized to be there, and therefore, if anyone other than these people is living there, why you would send a notice of default for unauthorized occupants. Right? And so by documenting these simple things, you're going to put yourself in a position to protect your property to the utmost. And the last thing that I want to talk about is, in leases, if you don't already know, for example, your right to enter the property, how funds can be applied. Can I take this payment and apply it to old debt? Because they said it's for August rent, but they owe me stuff from July, they owe me stuff from June, and they owe me stuff from May. Well, if you've got an application of funds clause, you can. If you've got an excellent right of access onto your property, you can enter your property, even without permission, sometimes even without notice. But if you don't know what's already in the black and white, or you don't know how to set up the black and white in a way that's going to benefit you to the max, you're leaving opportunities on the table, and you're weakening your position as a landlord. Make sure you've got a rock-solid lease before you get the whole thing started, and I guarantee you, you're going to eliminate problems right from the jump. Guys, thank you all so much. Have a good evening. if you find yourself for the very first time filing an eviction or contemplating an eviction, or maybe you filed one or two that went easy peasy, but this one's a doozy, I've got some news for you. For those of you, particularly in the state of Texas, I have an eviction course. It's called Texas Eviction, step by step from start to finish, where I'm going to guide you through the whole process. I have a video course with 6 modules and a 39-page ebook that walks you through everything from notice to filing, even to judgment. And so I'd like for you to take a look at this. If you're interested in purchasing this course, you can go to attorneyeg.com/EV for more information.